said to myself, hi, guys, Mike, Nick. I had said to myself, I've been eating like crap for the last couple of months, and look at all this weight I gained. I bet if I eat really well for 2 months, I'll lose it all again because math. And I realized it's a lot harder to eat well for 2 months than to eat everything for 2 months.
It's really boring.
That's way less fun. Hi, guys. It's Ask Twinsies. I'm Mike. This is Nick Rishwain. The premise of the show is basically you guys ask us for advice, and there's just no guarantee of quality, right? We never said,
None.
So you're going to show up. We're going to give terrible advice. We're going to start with this question from Ryan. He pulled from modern media, the lamestream media, the fake news media, a picture of... I'm going to scoot to the side now. A picture of one of us. It was Nick or it was me, and we don't know. Nick, were you on Chris Hayes last week?
Not last week, the week before for me, Mike.
No handheld mic tonight, Jonathan Crims asked. Where's your handheld mic? He was saying earlier that he had it so he can make sexy
make it
noises.
handheld.
Yeah, that's... I just thought of... I could make it handheld as like your Tinder profile, like bio line.
I like that. That'll sell.
This is going really well so far. Justy asked an important question. I think this was targeted at you. It must have been.
Yeah.
She asked if you could plant any vegetable and never have to worry about tending it or making it grow, what would you plant and why?
I'd go in tomatoes, Mike. I do like a good homegrown tomato.
Yeah, in Texas, we used to call tomatoes the $10 tomato because it takes $10 for every tomato. For me, it's zucchini because you can use it in anything, and my kids hate it, which just makes me really happy.
You know, I would take a secondary one to that would be probably the avocado, but is that register as a fruit?
I think that's a fruit.
It is, yeah. I think so, too.
I think that's a fruit. But it doesn't matter because they're weird and for hipster white people and expensive, I guess.
No, they are phenomenal.
Adam asks the question, this seems targeted to you as well. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Yeah, so I guess this is a common trope over on Reddit, which I don't spend enough time there. I do not know that to be the case, but it really got me thinking, and I'm upset with Adam for just, I thought it was original, and it's not. So I'm upset about that. I had to do a lot of thought on this, and I think I'm going to go with the 100 duck-sized horses.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. I mean, if it was bee-sized horses, that's a problem.
That's easy.
Because they can get in your nose. I don't like that.
So where I got this was I used to teach karate, and I used to teach martial arts, and I did this. I used to, in high school specifically, I had to teach the kids class. Well, when I would get bored, I'd just have them attack me. And you can really just move them out of the way and toss them around really easily. And I think the same could be done with horses. Really easy to redirect if they're very small.
Speaking of teaching karate, my son had an X-Men toy. It was Wolverine. And he says to us one time, he says, you want to see his superpower? And we said, sure. He says, well, this is what he does. You kind of bend it, because it was one of these bendy action figures, bends him up and his claws are sticking out. And I think this kid was like 4 or 5 at the time. And he's like, and then he spins real fast, and then his claws just scratch you as he's rolling over. And Nicole says, what do you call that? And he says, ball scratch. And Nicole said, your father also has a superpower. So I used to teach karate, too. Yeah. Dorna asks a couple of questions. This first one confuses me and inspires. Good reasons to cancel on one's dog walker's birthday Zoom call.
Yeah, because the answer is in the question there. Dog walker's birthday Zoom call. I'm not going.
Does that mean the dog walker is calling you for your birthday, or you're calling the dog walker?
No,
for
I get on their
birthday?
It's their birthday, and give them a tip next time in a card. Happy birthday. and be done with it.
Nobody wants another Zoom call, right?
No.
Why'd you schedule it in the first place? Give them some money. The other one was,
Yeah.
should one give their husband a haircut? I will point out, my wife cut my hair today. She went for like a hipster. If you watch The Expanse, she went for a belter hairdo today, also known as hipster. But before, this was all curly. So
Yeah. No, I noticed she went real short on top. Very, very short on top. And she's here watching us, as she should be. This has been her idea. So,
she is?
and-
It's such a wonderful haircut. I've never seen such a quality job before. She asked for sexual favors in return, which seems dirty. I'm not an object, but it's a wonderful haircut.
And we've got Justy Nickel in the house, and Don McClure is here as well. So thank you for tuning in.
Don, you have better things to do, Don. Karima...
No, you don't.
Who has finally joined us. Hi, Karima. I don't even know if you're here. But Karima asked the question, talking about me and you, what's the one thing that gets you jumping out of bed and really excited about your day?
Yeah, I think I can answer this one for both Mike and I. It's eggs and bacon.
I felt like it was spiders. If there's a spider with a face.
Yeah. Are you running into a lot of those in Kansas?
I don't,
Arkansas, wherever you're at.
It's the same place. I really don't jump out of bed happily for anything, just to be clear, because it's your bed. Johnny, some rando named Johnny, asked the question, did I make the cut this week?
Yeah, who is this? And why would they make a cut?
What does that sentence even mean? This guy asks terrible
this
questions. This is why we never use his questions. Didn't even use the hashtag. I don't understand this person.
I don't even know who it is. Michelotti's in the house.
Joe. Just going to delete that. Mark Palmer, he of the Deep Dimples, which is a title I just gave him and also terribly demeaning, asked a question, since a Dyson ad popped up right after your Ask Twinsies broadcast, high-end vacuums that definitely do suck, to use the words of Wayne's World, are they worth every penny or, dad joke coming, dirt devil in the details?
Very well done. Very well done. Yeah, I'm going to go for the high-end vacuum. I think it's worth it. I think you got to have good tools. Sadly, Dyson has not reached out on the sponsorship yet, which I think they're just saying, well, here's two non-practicing lawyers. They're probably going to be working at home for a long time.
Yeah, we suck. We can suck, Dyson.
Somebody by the name of Johnny Finch has also joined. I wonder if that person had a question.
He's so exhausting. Thanks for your question, Mark Palmer. By the way, we had a Dyson for like 7 years or something. It lasted really long, but it did lose its suction. So we went to Costco and got a far cheaper one, and I think I won that argument, but I'm sure my wife will tell me since she's here. Joe,
or your 14-year-old daughter who is also watching. That one may also
she'll tell me I suck. Yeah, she'll verify. Joe Michelotti asked the question, I have a 1983 Toyota Tercel with about 300,000 miles on it. The duct tape that is holding the front fender onto the frame no longer matches the color of the rust. Should I use vice grips to open the driver's door, or am I good just hopping in and out of the rear window?
Anytime you have the option to hop in and out of the window of a car, I feel like you've got to take it. That's
Dukes a hazard before the car was racist. Yeah, good
before
call.
It was racist.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think any chance, a back window, if that's the one that's open, go for it.
Yeah, this feels like a question for another show, but I will answer with this week's puzzler. No, I won't. That's a different show.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The click and the clack and the tap it and they do the car talk.
I've got all kinds of car talk that is not helpful at all.
We've got a British invasion. Rebecca asked the question, what is the most random award or certificate you were given at school?
Yeah, I thought about this. I, honest to God, cannot think of any award or... I know I got some, but I don't remember what any of them were.
Well, and they weren't random because I earned every one of them.
Yeah, they used to hand that stuff out just willy-nilly, and it's just none of them left a mark.
You say that. Rebecca is young, right?
Yeah,
So
she is.
in her world, they may have given awards. In my world, we're young enough that everyone just withheld affection from us all the time to see what would happen.
That's true.
We were
That's true.
a social experiment generation. I did win one year in the yearbook. I was named most theatrical, and I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. If only it had kept that head of hair and not had your wife shave that off.
Jazz hands. Richard, speaking of British invasions, asks the question, I have a random fun question for you guys to ponder. What film would you recommend for the UK's legal tech 80s watch-along crowd? Has to be released in the 80s.
This was put a little bit of thought into this one as well. Thank you, Richard Parnham, for this question. I'm going to go with One Crazy Summer.
Is that the camp one?
No, that was a young Piven and a young Cusack when they were getting back at the rich kids. It's a great one, and you may remember Bobcat Goldthwait sawed up the Ferrari, and they used that in the sailboat, the Ferrari engine.
Yeah, I was looking to make sure that Explorers came out in the 80s, and in fact it did, 1985. The thing that's great about Explorers, if you guys remember, there were these aliens that they kind of hunched over, and they had these big bellies and these bony arms. My wife, when she was very pregnant, like super pregnant, would walk around with her big belly and her bony arms, and she would walk like the aliens on Explorers, and she would laugh at herself every time. So go back. I didn't laugh. She did.
Explorers, was that the one where the kids built their own spacecraft out of like garbage cans and
got the aliens back home? Was that who was in that? It was Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix.
I just feel like Sean Astin should have been in it.
Yeah, that was Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix. I mean, that's like a who's who of 1980s movies. Go back and watch Explorers. It's really good.
I feel like we have answered this one so well for the those in the UK legal tech 80s watch along. I mean, we gave them several to look at there.
We take payment in pounds. Sean asks a couple of questions.
Naturally.
What is a worse social media sin? Posting baseless and incendiary political memes or correcting grammar?
These are both so closely aligned. I mean, they're both incendiary for one. But I think correcting grammar is just not allowed anymore. And baseless incendiary political memes are actually encouraged.
It's funny because the political memes, those when people are yelling at each other about politics,
sure,
are the places where A, most of the spelling errors and typos occur. They're very frequent and very obvious. And B, they're the place when arguments break down. They're like, you spelled "you're" wrong. Like that's gonna undermine the entire 2-hour argument you just had about international policy. Yeah. Speaking of international policy, I'm going to give you this question from Steven Stanwood. He asks Machiavelli.
Starwood's in the house? Is he? He's not even watching.
This is Stanwood. Is it Starwood? I don't know.
I think I misspelled it on purpose one time, and now he's always Starwood in my mind.
Oh. He asked Machiavelli or Sun Tzu. I want to pull over the translation. Google flagged this as something. Barry. Yeah, Barry's here. I just want to point out that the Google Translate, which is really helpful, translated Machiavelli or Sun Tzu to Machiavelli or Sun Tzu.
Outstanding. Why? That was necessary.
Thanks, Google. Yeah. I don't, which of your...
which do I prefer?
Yeah, which vapid dictator, glorified through florid prose is your favorite?
Yeah, I think Machiavelli. I always appreciated that idea of governing without moral. I think that was him, as I recall from political theory. I thought there was some value in that argument. I don't think that it's happens as much as we'd like it to happen, but there is some. I think there is some value to that, because if you're going to have to make some difficult decisions, not having the morals interfere with that would be really fantastic.
A realist you are. Yeah, and I think Machiavelli wore an actual dress. And that just...
I like him even more.
I'm persuaded. Colin asks, What is the stupidest thing you have ever done, and why?
I'm on Ask Twinsies right now. I mean, Jesus. I don't know what else I can say. This is it. This is the stupidest and the silliest thing that I've done.
The why is we're really lonely.
I don't have answers to that. I do a lot of stupid stuff that I don't have answers to.
Sad. I'm like dead inside.
Yeah.
Will you guys please hang out with us? The silliest thing I have ever done, I think might be the time that I played the fop in the play by Molière called Learned Ladies, and I had a purple wig and a full-on purple dress and these high heels. When this is over, I'll put that in the comments, the picture of it, because it's pretty amazing. And
you put that picture on everything.
Oh, I did?
Everybody here has already seen this picture.
It just looks really good. I had really pretty hair. Carol, who often frightens me, has 4 questions. She cheats. Yeah, this is 4 questions.
She does. She cheats.
Do you remember the movie? Do you remember the movie Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
No,
where
I don't.
Helen Hunt was the bad girl, and what's her name? That's married to Matthew Broderick. That was in the Sex and the City. What's her name? That I've totally
I forget her name.
Anyway, she was the good girl, and Helen Hunt was the bad girl. It was awesome.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
It was so great. The answer is yes. Girls do just want to have fun, and in that show they dance a lot, which is great. I don't know if that was the 80s, but that was also a really good.
But do you remember another really great movie that Sarah Jessica Parker was in with Steve Martin? It was L.A. Story.
I don't remember
that is an underrated movie. I recommend.
I almost said Roxanne, but I think that was
We've now been corrected by Nicole Whalen and Benjamin Sanchez because we couldn't think of Sarah Jessica Parker.
To your question, Carol, if I don't leave a review for Mike's book on Amazon, am I a bad friend? The answer is yes. And I really don't know, algorithm-wise, what the purpose in those reviews are. But I know that when I feel sad inside, I like to go read those reviews. So
Mike doesn't know what an algorithm is.
It's the one with the buttons. Barry asks the question, my wife and I are thinking of getting a bicycle to use for our local errands. We live in New York City, so space is at a premium, and we are getting just one. Should we get a boy's bike or a girl's bike?
I don't want to get into the gender conversation on bikes here. I feel like it's a dangerous place, and we're going to get accused of all sorts of things with this. I will say this. There are designs on bikes that avoid certain injuries related to, this is a callback, the ball scratch. So I would opt for a more feminine gendered bike. I'm trying to say that right, Mike. I don't want to offend the bicycles.
And as my wife always points out to me, women are the pack mules, because they have the purse, and so I just hand her stuff. And if you're going to go run errands with this, one of the clear markers of is this a girl's bike or a boy's bike is whether there's a basket at the front. I don't know why this is.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Women have been associated with carrying crap around, so clearly if you're going to go run errands, you get the girl's bike, whichever one has the basket on the front. That's the one you get.
Is there something I'm missing here? The design is the only thing that I've ever seen.
The boy's bike, you put ET on the front. There's not a basket because
that's right.
ET's got to have space.
Johnny Finch says I hate men, so he's still who is he?
Speaking of, that was well timed. Johnny Finch has a question.
Oh, he does. Who is this person?
I'm not as interested in the $1 million or person mentoring your business mogul hero. I don't have a business mogul hero, except maybe Tommy from Tommy Boy. I would have hung out with Chris Farley to talk business stuff. But he asks a provocative question. After your spouse passes, how long is it okay before dating again?
I remember this answer from the movie Swingers. It's 6 days. Or was that to call somebody on a date? I forget. But I'd go 6 days, Johnny.
6 days.
Yeah.
Fast.
We do give bad advice here, right?
I know. And I feel like this is my wife paying Johnny to ask this question.
Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome to the show.
Once you go Johnny, you never go back.
Mm.
Nicole, who didn't join us again because she's pregnant, blah, 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 asks, if you could be the contestant on any TV game show, which game show would you choose?
It's a good one. I like to think that I'm Jeopardy material, but every time I watch it, I realize I'm not. And I think Family Feud's a good one for us.
I think you'd be good at the Jeopardy on SNL, like the Celebrity Jeopardy with, Sean Connery reading Everything Is Your Mother, Trebek. I would like to do the Japanese game show where you put on a full bodysuit and then you have to run up not stairs while they're covered in grease. And then you get to the top and then you slide all the way back down.
Have you seen that some of these kind of wild that used to be 80s, 90s shows like American Gladiator and those types are coming back? They're really bringing a lot of these
American Gladiators.
It was a great one. It was a great one. Mark Palmer's here. We already answered his question.
The reason people don't tend to win those games when they are, done in Japan is because they read too much Sun Tzu and not enough Machiavelli. The key to winning that game is to crush your opponents by walking on top of them as they slide down. So you really got to get that.
Nicole asks an extra fantastic question here. I feel like we're coming back to the 80s over and over. Favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up, and I certainly want to hear from you on this one.
I mentioned it before. I really like the Gargoyles Batman combo, but I had mentioned that before. But Tiger Sharks was great.
Really? So
Silverhawks.
No real Ghostbusters in the Whalen family, huh?
My mom limited the cartoons that I could watch, and I'm pretty sure Ghostbusters was on the list of shows I couldn't watch. But you remember Silverhawks, and there was the copper kid that couldn't, he was mute.
I feel like this. I don't even know what Silverhawks is. Is this like Utah specific?
No, I didn't grow up in Utah. How dare you?
Such
a great show, Silverhawks. Go check it out. Phil asks the question. Why do astronauts sit around on the launch pad for hours waiting to go? Why don't they just get someone else to start that bad boy for them and jump in and go?
I had this conversation with somebody during the first launch attempt on Wednesday, and it was driving me nuts that these men were wearing diapers for hours waiting to go up in space. And it's like, how many times you get dressed in that suit and you have to then go to the bathroom? It was driving me mad. Where is the Tesla valet service? Why can't we get things moving, get it filled up, get it gassed up, and then I come in at the end?
Do you remember Armageddon, the movie Armageddon, where he sits back in the spaceship and he's like, this was put together by all the people who gave the lowest bid or whatever.
Lowest bidder, yep.
I wonder if that's true in this. My wife... she's
a horrible person.
She said it was smart to skip the second question. Two men shouldn't be weighing in on bushes, talking about Nicole Aboud's question about birds.
Wild
versus the bush. She's
wild, wacky stuff.
She's a lot. A job-related question that you pointed
the runs.
Yeah,
to answer
we
that.
should be clearly. I can't stay employed. Chris had asked the question. You pointed this one out. Is it legal to ask in an interview how strong or good a candidate's home Wi-Fi connection is? And then Dennis Kennedy had followed up with, I'm afraid that the interviewer would want to come to my house and use my Wi-Fi to test it to see if I had a good connection.
I feel like this is how Dennis has lured people into his house previously, and I'm concerned about that. No, it's great. And then, I got to test the Wi-Fi.
That's funny. My son told me that stalker people trying to kidnap kids don't say, hey, you want some candy, little boy, anymore. They say, hey, I've got Wi-Fi in my truck. In my van, you want to get in?
Is that a real thing? Is that?
Apparently
that's wild.
Apparently that's who can kidnap my kids. Zach asked a question about the funniest Keaton. Buster in Steamboat Bill Jr. or Michael in Mr. Mom.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom, all the way. I mean, early 80s Michael Keaton was fantastic. I wish he would go back to doing some more comedy.
I enjoyed him more in the terrible movie Multiplicity. Not any. He did this thing where he was like cloning himself, but one of the characters was a clone of a clone, and so he had like major brain processing issues, and he apparently had sex with the wife, and then comes in to Michael Keaton's the original character, and says, "She touched my peppy, Steve. She touched my peppy. Want some pizza? Want some pizza, Steve? She touched my peppy." It was also quite funny in.
Johnny Finch brings up Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf was a good one.
Was.
What was the movie? The Shakespeare movie that had Kenneth Branagh and what's her name? And anyway, where he would. I am an ass. I had my kids watch that, and they would just walk around and say, "I am an ass," over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Steven asked the question, who wins a chess match? What about a triathlon?
Yeah. I just want to say the king or queen win a chess match. Is that accurate? I don't play chess.
What is chess? More importantly, what is a triathlon?
Yeah. If he's asking who wins a triathlon between you and I, again, spectators. I mean, that's going to be funny.
I think we could combo that with the full body suit with the grease all over us. I think if we can mesh like greasy chess triathlon.
Ooh, Palmer comes in late with a Beetlejuice as a good Keaton funny. Yeah, I'm really wishing Keaton would go back to some of the 80s funny stuff.
He was a pretty funny guy back then.
Hanks as well. I'm tired of his serious roles.
In our final question, preset for the night, James asks, what would be the suit size of a 1-ton bear? Nick, what size suit do you wear?
Oh, man, I had that joke.
You knew I knew it was coming. As soon as I saw this, I got ahead of it. That's the great thing about being the host, people.
That is that. I will fry over that. What suit size of a 1-ton bear? I'm extra large. Are we going XL? I know that's not really a suit size. Do we have to do like the whole neck and the 42 in the sleeve? I don't know what a bear wears.
I don't know. And I think that they pee naked in the forest. And
so that's not far off for Whalen behavior right there.
Well, as a man who has peed in front of a urinal with shorts and sandals on, I know danger. Okay.
Yeah. No. That I
know risk.
Every sporting event is a very disgusting place. If you're a man, live sporting event.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us this week. Please make sure to ask questions using the Ask Twinsies hashtag so that we can answer more ridiculous questions next week. I'm sure one thing I'm confident about is that this week is going to totally suck and you will need us.
Yeah, and give us feedback. Send it to Mike, email him directly, and give him that feedback. And if you're Hostess or Dyson and you're looking to sponsor, I mean, come on. Boom, right here.
You guys have a good night. We will see you next week. Be kind to each other, please.